Hello, my YouTube friends. Bringing you another fixed blade review today. Another Condor, in fact. I got this a couple days ago. Uh, Actually, I got it, I think the day after, or maybe 2 days after I got that SIG run, the sack style Condor. This one I have not sharpened yet because I wanted to show you how it comes right out of the factory. Um, Comes with this nice leather sheath. I've never had an issue with Condor sheaths, whether the leather sheaths or the Kydex ones. They do a good job with their sheath. Um, the one thing I'll say is it came very tight in the sheath. I had to pretty much force it in um, past the ricasso, but that's actually a good thing because leather over time tends to stretch out and as it wears in, and then if it's if it's just not tight to start with, it'll end up getting loose and you can lose your knife out of the sheath. But even without the sheath on this, or the strap on this one, this thing is not going anywhere. It didn't even move. So it's a great sheath, great snug fit. There's the knife overall. It's a very good looking knife. I bought this really just to add to my Bowie collection because I collect Bowie knives. I love big Bowies. But so I seriously doubt I'll have. I may take it out into the field one time just to fool around, see what it does. But it's not a knife I'm going to carry out into the field often. It's a Bowie collection piece. So a typical Condor micarta. I absolutely love their micarta. It's got this weird sculpture pattern in it here. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking with that at first. When I held it, I was like, well, this finger kind of goes in there, but I hold it back just a little bit like this in the saber grip. But the rest of it really doesn't. So I'm like, I don't really see the point in that. But then when I held it in reverse grip, like you would if you were fighting, then it makes a lot of sense. It's very, very comfortable in a reverse grip. Not that it's not comfortable in this grip. It actually is. That just those grooves really don't do much of anything in this grip. But in a reverse grip, it really is great. Fit and finish on it is absolutely outstanding. Even with your fingernail going across, you cannot feel the transition between the scales, the micarta scales, and the tang of the blade. Fit and finish is immaculate on it. No issues there whatsoever. Just to give you a quick rundown on the stats here. Uh, the blade length is 7.67 inches or 194 millimeters, 194.7 actually, I guess. The overall length is 12.61 inches. The blade thickness is 0.20 inches or 5 mil. It's Condor's typical 1075 high carbon steel. Uh, it's got a bead blasted satin finish on it, micarta handles, handcrafted welted leather sheath. The designer is Tony Lenartz, which Tony Lenartz has actually been for many years. Actually, up in Canada, he actually has a teaches bushcraft and wilderness survival, wilderness living skills. So you would look at this and go, well, gee, that's not a bushcraft knife. I don't understand why he would design this. But then if you look at his history, he spent a lot of years in both the military and law enforcement. So he is definitely aware of the tactical aspect of a knife. So I guess that's why he came up with this design. You can see it's definitely a fighting knife. That's what it was designed for. That's not to say that you can't do field craft with it. As long as you put a sharp edge on a knife, any knife with a sharp edge will do knife stuff. They just will. Some designs will do it better than others, but as long as it's sharp, you can shave feather sticks, make notches, split wood, whatever you have to, and then, God forbid, of a wild creature of the four-legged kind or two-legged kind come up on you. Sorry for bumping the camera there. Wild critter, four-legged or two-legged, gives you a problem. This would definitely take care of it pretty well in that, God forbid, situation. Um, Overall, I'd absolutely love this knife, but I wanted to show you Condor's typical, once I put my edge on it, believe me, you would not want to do that with it. Piece of paper here. I mean, it's about as blunt as you can get, It tears the paper, it don't cut. Uh, at a quick glance, the grind looks like it's good, looks like it's sharp, but man, it's butter knife dull. Why in the hell Condor cannot figure out how to sharpen a knife, I'll never understand. When they put this much effort to make such perfect fit and finish on the rest of the knife, why not come with a usable edge? You know, it doesn't have to be hair popping sharp, although that'd be nice, but just, you know, I know how to sharpen a knife. I don't mind sharpening a knife if I have to. I just would rather not have to do it straight out of the box before I can even use it. It's just, you know, at least let me fool around with it a little bit, and then I'll sharpen it when I get around to it, not because I absolutely have to. It's really disappointing to me. I mean, the knife is just outstanding design for a Bowie, for a Bowie fighter. It's fit and finish is top notch. Man, that is just really disappointing. I just can't believe how dull that is. Other than that, though, I mean, you know, got a nice it's not sharpened on the top. It's a false wedge, but that will make for nice penetration. The tip is very pointy. Even with a dull blade, that tip is still very sharp. So the jimping on the top is quite effective. It's there when you need it. For the most part, you don't really need jimping up there for normal, like power cutting or whatever. But sometimes there are things where you're going to want that jimping if you're getting up to use the tip or something. Maybe you want a little extra grip on that, and that's quite effective. If you were to use that for prolonged cutting, it's probably going to start bothering your thumb in a short period of time. You know, just a few quick cuts, it's okay, but prolonged use, it's a little aggressive. With gloves on, though, it'd be absolutely fine. There's the name Belgian Bowie by Tony Lenartz, and the other side, Condor, El Salvador. Overall, I really like the design. It is just a badass looking fighter. You know, very comfortable with this little thumb ramp right there for, you know, that type of action. Uh, Great. I will say this is a little sharp right here. I'm not sure if I'll bother. I might take a file or a Dremel and round that a little bit. I'm not sure if I'll bother though, because honestly, in normal use, where it falls, it's really not going to bother me any, I don't think. And like I say, I'm not going to carry this a lot out into the field. I probably will. I usually take all my knives out at least once just to put it on a little wood and see what it does. But you know, this is not a bushcraft knife. You know, and normally that's what I carry when I go out in the woods is a 4 to 5 inch long bladed, either Scandi grind or saber grind, convex grind, whatever, bushcraft knife. You know what I mean? One that's small enough to do fine carbon, because that's what I do more than anything, and baton a little kindling. That's mainly what I do with my knives. You know, uh, make a pot hanger notch to cook over the fire with, or tent pegs, or you know, I haven't done figure four traps in years. When I was younger, I used to get into all that, but my older age and with my joint issues and everything, honestly, I just don't get out into the field as often as I do, or often as I used to, or as often as I would like to. You know, I got a bad back, my knees are shot. I just don't get out as often as I would like to anymore. But on the days that I do feel up to it and do go out, I got to be careful what I'm doing. I'm not going to go, you know, I'm not going to go spend a week out in the woods and try and trap rabbits and squirrels and what have you. I'm just past the point of doing that at this point in my life with the health issues that I have. But in fact, I seldom even do an overnight anymore. It's usually when I go out in the woods at all, it's just you know, 2 to 4 hour afternoon trip just to go out and play around a little bit and enjoy nature. But yeah, there you go. The Condor Belgian Bowie. It's a big one. A little over 7.5 inch blade. Very nice looking Bowie. And I will get around to sharpening it. Just the fact that just because I'm not going to carry it on a regular basis, I still like all my knives to be sharp and usable if I decide to go out and play with it. So I will put an edge on it. It's just a damn shame that I have to do that before I can even use the knife or anything, you know. There you go. That's about all I got for you today, other than to give you a quick reminder, 22 a day of our vets are committing suicide. That's a figure we need to bring awareness to. And just a few shout outs to a few of my brothers of the blade here. Salty Red Corn, shout out to him. He's a great channel. Brothers of the Blade. You got Legion Tactical Cutlery, My Bad Adventures, and of course Corboy's Cutlery. If you're here, I'm sure you're already aware of Scab over at Corboy's Cutlery, but if not, I sure don't know why. And Donovan 2 is another one. This is something I can see Donovan 2 buying right here. He's got an amazing collection of knives. He gets into a lot of the fighters too. He's got one of the nicest collections on Instagram. Or I mean, I'm sorry, YouTube. Well, I don't think he's on Instagram. Maybe he is, but if he is, he's probably got the nicest collection there too. But Cowboy Sebop is the only other one I know that can even come close to what Donovan 2 has. So 2 is spelled Tew.